On August 24, 2023, Japan began discharging nuclear wastewater from Fukushima. Despite the International Atomic Energy Agency's statement that the discharge meets global safety standards, the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, has made a big deal out of the potential health damages to the public. It has resulted in this story staying on the radar in China, and public sentiment continues to be intense. A Japanese restaurant owner born in 1995 smashed his own store to show his anti-Japanese stance in the southwest province of Guizhou. A child was upset and cried when he learned that Japan was discharging nuclear wastewater. He even cut Japan out from the world map.
Don't cry, alright? Don't cry, okay? He clipped Japan out of the world map, making it disappear from the world. He cut out the map. Gosh, my kid is really upset.
In a city in a central province of China, a garment factory has made a collective statement to declare their anti-Japan determination. Starting from me.
Starting from me.
Refuse to generate income for Japan.
Refuse to generate income for Japan.
No Japanese food.
No Japanese food.
No traveling to Japan.
No traveling to Japan.
No business dealings with Japanese.
No business dealings with Japanese.
No business dealings with the Japanese. From today onwards, our 53rd Supply Chain Women's Apparel R&D Department refuses all foreign trade orders from Japan. Images of people boycotting Japanese goods have been circulating frequently on Chinese social media platforms. Some Chinese businesses have unfortunately become victims and are forced to make statements about the origin of their products. Irrelevant workplaces and businesses in various parts of Japan have received harassing calls from China. Recently, Japanese schools in China have been harassed with stones and eggs thrown at them.
Something is bothering this noodle house these days.
The thing that's bothering us is prank calls from China. They keep ringing all the time, even during business hours. Yesterday and the day before yesterday, the phone never stopped ringing. They called us baka yalu, meaning hopelessly fools or something like that. At first, we would say, "Hello, how are you?" Now, we just ignore these calls, and we don't even answer them anymore.
Listen to the recording of the call at 5:53 a.m. on August 27th. Hello? Hello? Bakayalu. What are the demands of these Chinese people? The reporter called back and asked. Hey, why did you call the owner of the Japanese noodle shop?
I want him to use nuclear wastewater to cook noodles. He didn't listen.
How did you get his phone number?
Don't pry into that.
Are you working or a student?
I am jobless.
How old are you?
Me, 23 years old.
He's a 23-year-old unemployed male from Sichuan province. Have you been making a lot of calls like this lately?
No.
Just one?
Yes.
What good does it do you to make such calls? What do you think?
It satisfies me physically and mentally. Lashing out my feelings makes me feel good.
Do you think it's useful? Do you think it's useful to make phone calls like this?
It's useful.
Don't you think it's a kind of inconvenience to an average person?
He thinks he's justified in discharging nuclear wastewater.
But Japan or the other party hung up the phone?
Why are you doing this to us?
We asked, and the other party said no need to tell us. I asked him how he knew about the phone number, and he didn't say.
I see. Why did they do this to us? I hope they don't do that. We are totally innocent. In response, several official Chinese media outlets reported that the Chinese embassy in Japan has received a large number of harassing phone calls. As authorities encourage Japan bashing, panic spreads among the Chinese. They rush to buy nuclear radiation detectors, causing distributors to run out of stock. People test everything, including tires on their vehicles. Many Chinese have discovered that their homes are where the radiation level is the highest. A netizen from Shanghai posted on a social media platform that her home was 976 times more radioactive than Tokyo after measuring with a Geiger counter. According to the post, the radiation level at her home is worse than Fukushima 3.0, and it rises regularly. The highest radiation level was 9.7. It shocked her. She pointed out that according to the state news by CCTV, Tokyo's value was 0.01, so her home's value was 976 times that of Tokyo. She now has a big headache and wants to know if this is a common phenomena or an isolated case. A screenshot of the post quickly went viral in the online community. Most netizens suspect that the source of radiation is related to building materials. Another netizen bought a detector and found that the radiation level in his bedroom was 0.3, a little higher than in Fukushima, but in the kitchen it was 0.8 and 1.9 in the toilet. The reality is cruel. He said, "Yesterday I saw a lot of people testing snacks made in China. Its radiation level far exceeds the Japanese snacks, but today when I tried to search for the post I felt that it should have been blocked." He said that I gave up. He'll stop testing because he doesn't want to know that the Japanese snacks are much safer than his own home, and he doesn't want his account to be blocked. In other words, the Chinese people suddenly realized that the radiation contamination doesn't come from the sea, but from their own homes and workplaces. They are exposed to excessive levels of nuclear contamination every day. This has also brought the problem of excessive radiation levels in building materials in China back to the public's radar. Therefore, some netizens wrote, "Inside the walls of China, there are a few livestream celebrities who have tested their own homes, all of which exceeded the standards of Japan by several times. I'm really worried that they will be disappeared if they tell the truth." Others recalled their experiences over the past 3 years and commented, "In the future, radiation detectors will either be banned or like thermometers in China, they will always measure 36.5 Celsius or 97.7 Fahrenheit. For the Chinese Communist government, when the science doesn't add up, the most effective way to push public sentiment is to push the narrative that the Japanese are discriminating against the Chinese." A TikTok blogger in Japan found a sign hanging at a pub in Tokyo Shinjuku that read, "To the Chinese, all ingredients are from Fukushima." He called the police to complain about the discriminatory slogan targeting the Chinese. Let's take a look at how the story unfolded. On the TikTok platform, many Chinese netizens hailed the video as a victory for patriots, applauding the blogger for actively defending the nation's image and dignity. "We were in Shinjuku, Tokyo, and we found something very serious. The sign of this restaurant says, 'To Chinese people, all the ingredients in this restaurant are from Fukushima.' I don't know what this story is trying to say. If you want to eat Fukushima ingredients, there is no problem. I don't know why you are bringing Chinese in. We are now calling the police to ask the owner what he means." This is 110. Is there an incident or an accident? It's an incident. What's going on? I'm in Shinjuku, Tokyo. And there's a pub here and they've displayed a sign outside saying, "To Chinese people, our ingredients are all from Fukushima. Police are being dispatched to the scene. Please wait at the scene." "Yes, please. I'm Chinese. What does he mean by that? I am upset. Let's go and ask him about it." The shopkeeper has gone out and will be back in a bit. The owner is not in the store now, so let's wait for him with the police. What do you think about, to Chinese people, the ingredients in this store, and all from Fukushima? Does it make you upset that this sign is directed at Chinese people? Or does it make you upset that this restaurant uses ingredients from Fukushima? Fukushima's ingredients, you can eat whatever you want. Why specify to Chinese people? Does this make you feel uncomfortable? We understand. However, when the owner gets here later, stay calm and don't argue. Conflict is not good for either party. Calm down first. When the owner comes out, I'll ask him what he means by writing this. We asked, sure enough, it's aimed at the Chinese people. It's discrimination, but to tell customers who come here that it uses Fukushima ingredients, so people know even before entering the store. Chinese people aren't allowed to enter, right? No, it's not a ban. It means if you don't want to eat Fukushima ingredients, don't come to my place to eat. From the Chinese point of view, when you write like this, it makes me feel that it's discriminatory. Why do you think it's discriminating? Why do you write about Chinese? Why do you tell Chinese people specifically? Because some people don't want to eat Fukushima ingredients. It's to tell those people first that the restaurant uses Fukushima ingredients. Is that really what he said? Yes, that's what he said. Then let me ask him. If you talk to him directly, you will be upset again. To be honest, it's better not to get into a fight. I want him to erase the words. I have another question. Is it true that all the ingredients are from Fukushima? If the ingredients are not all from Fukushima, he is cheating consumers, right? Because he wrote Chinese. We have heard your thoughts. You felt very concerned. That is, he didn't write Americans or British, but Chinese on purpose. That's what I mean. If he wrote a notice to customers and so on, I would be okay. Why did he write to Chinese people on purpose? Because of the recent news about Fukushima, that's why it's written this way. Then you are discriminating. No, there is no discrimination. I feel discriminated against. Chinese people are discriminated against. Because the store used Fukushima ingredients, it meant to say Chinese or people who don't like it don't come to eat inside. I don't think it has no discrimination. I don't agree. What to write on the sign is up to the store. It's based on the store operator's own rights and judgment. We police can't tell them what to do. We can't force him not to write. In addition, I checked with him, and what's on the board changes every day. Tomorrow, he might write something else. Can you change the content today? We can pass it on for you, but we can't be sure he'll change it. Go ahead and pass it on. What do you think? I don't think they should do this. The store owner agreed to rewrite it. After the video was released, the Japanese pub accidentally became a popular spot for anti-Chinese individuals. Some people who dined in the pub realized that the owner was just expressing his personal feelings about the news that Chinese people are afraid of Japan's nuclear wastewater discharge. The message on the sign changes every day, like a dynamic mood board. On China's TikTok platform, while a lot of Chinese people hailed this as a victory for the patriots, it also made mainland Chinese people see that in Japan, the police treat the public with respect and patience. Early in July 2023, the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, released a comprehensive report after an independent and transparent review of the Fukushima nuclear power station's discharge procedures. It confirmed that the radiological impact of Fukushima's discharges on human beings and the environment is negligible. In fact, 8 organizations, including the World Health Organization and the International Atomic Energy Agency, have concluded that the discharge of tritium water from Fukushima meets international safety standards. Experts from China and Korea participated in the conference, and China's representative Liu Hui signed off on the discharge. South Korea, a neighboring country of Japan, is taking a cautious stance. This country has been conducting water quality monitoring at 200 marine sites since the end of July. Japan has also agreed that South Korea can conduct water quality monitoring at any time at several marine points near Japan. Both Korea and Japan invited China to join in on monitoring, but were rejected. We have assessed that there are no scientific or technical problems with the plan to release the contaminated water, but we want to make clear that our government does not necessarily agree with or support the plan to release contaminated water. If the actual discharge deviates even slightly from the planned process, we will consider it a threat to the safety and health of our citizens and immediately request Japan to halt the discharge. According to the relevant international law, China has the right to sue Japan and request a suspension of the discharge before Japan formally discharges. It can also join hands with relevant countries to formally protest Japan. As it turned out, none of the above was done. More often than not, the public heard moody remarks from Chinese diplomats. There are nearly 200 countries in the world. We don't see if Japan can name any other country than the US that publicly supports Japan's discharge of the nuclear contaminated wastewater. It's an indisputable fact that a few countries have openly supported Japan's discharge plan, and the vast majority of countries and many Japanese people too have criticized and opposed the discharge and taken corresponding preventative measures. The Japanese government should not turn a blind eye to this. Still, less deceive itself. The Chinese media has reported in a series of articles that Japan's nuclear-contaminated water may contain 64 kinds of radioactive elements. They are carcinogenic, teratogenic, and mutagenic. They'll damage the DNA of human beings and living organisms, cause genetic mutations and deformities of the offspring, and induce many kinds of cancers. Once the nuclear waste is discharged into the ocean, the nuclear waste radiation will spread to most of the Pacific Ocean. With the atmospheric circulation, these nuclear wastes will be carried along with the water evaporation and rainfall and bring disaster to the land. Once the radioactive elements enter the ecosphere and reach the human body through the food chain, it will be a catastrophe for the whole world. It's no wonder that Chinese people have become angry and panicked under the guidance of such public opinion. China is the world's largest nuclear wastewater discharging country, and its own nuclear wastewater treatment radiation value data is very high. How high is its radiation value? Chinese people made a comparison. Japan, Tokyo 0.19, Fukushima 0.20, Shandong 94, Zhejiang 93, Fujian 93, Guangdong 112, and so on. The CCP's misleading propaganda has actually hurt the Chinese people. In fact, this incident has had little impact on Japan, but rather the panic among the Chinese people has further depressed the already struggling aquaculture and catering industries in China. If you're interested, you can check out our previous episode by clicking on the link in the description box below. What comes to light through this case is that the Chinese nation has a long history of culture. Over the course of thousands of years, it formed a noble moral code, a complete ritual norm, and excellent traditional virtues. For thousands of years, China was known as the ancient state of civilization, the state of manners and ceremonies. However, all this has been destroyed by the CCP. The party culture of the CCP can be summarized as three core concepts: hypocrisy, malice, and struggle. The image of the Chinese as a result of the party culture has become increasingly unpopular overseas. Look, this Chinese little pinky interviewed on the streets of Japan. He didn't even know the difference between nuclear waste and nuclear wastewater. Excuse me, can I do an interview? Do you know anything about nuclear waste? It's not nuclear waste, it's treated nuclear wastewater. The nuclear wastewater is cleaned up. Clearly, there is no danger. Why do you say it's dangerous? Which country are you from? Chinese. China? Get out of Japan quickly. Why are you still in Japan? Why do you say that? China is waging war on Japan. Why are you still with us? Are you an idiot? Get out of Japan. You're too rude. Devil. China has been discharging for many years, and the concentration of nuclear effluent is much higher than in Japan. You don't know that, do you? China doesn't do this kind of thing. You think your country is completely right. Yes, I love my country. Hurry up and go back. Brothers, don't be afraid when you encounter this kind of situation abroad. The more timid you are, the more he will bully you. You have to be tough with him to the end. We have such a powerful nation behind us. What are you afraid of?